Emotions shape how we see the world, and how the world sees us. They influence every decision, every reaction, and every relationship. But here's the problem: most of us were never taught how to work with our emotions. We were taught to suppress, to stay strong, or to move on. What if, instead of pushing emotions away, we could understand what they're trying to tell us? That's what emotional awareness is about. It's not abstract or touchy-feely. It's about getting to know yourself better, discovering the deeper patterns behind how you think, react, and connect. By tuning into your emotions, you gain access to a kind of inner data, information that helps you make better decisions, stay calmer under pressure, and grow from your experiences rather than being controlled by them. Imagine being able to catch an emotion before it sweeps you away. You pause. You notice what's happening. And in that pause, you choose how to respond. That's emotional mastery. And it's a skill, not a personality trait. You can learn it. Let's start with the concept of emotional triggers. A trigger is any situation, memory, or even a small remark that sparks a strong emotional reaction. It might be anger, sadness, anxiety, or even sudden joy. Triggers aren't random, they're clues. Each one connects the present moment to something from your past. Maybe an unexpected encounter with someone reminds you of an old hurt. Maybe a colleague's tone at work feels familiar, not because of what they said, but because it echoes something you've experienced before. When we understand these connections, emotions stop feeling unpredictable. They start making sense. The key is to observe rather than judge. When you notice an intense emotion, ask yourself, what is this really about? When have I felt this before? That simple reflection links your past experiences to your present emotions and helps you understand what's actually being triggered. Here's a practical tool you can start using right away: a trigger diary. All you need is a small notebook or a notes app on your phone. Each time you notice a strong emotional reaction, positive or negative, jot down what happened, how you felt, what you think might have caused that feeling. Over time, you'll start seeing patterns. Maybe stressful meetings leave you drained every time. Maybe social situations trigger anxiety. Maybe certain types of feedback make you unusually defensive. These patterns reveal your emotional landscape. And once you can see the map, you can start navigating it. You'll also learn to notice situational triggers, how your surroundings or the people around you influence your emotions. For instance, you might realize that crowded environments make you tense, or that certain conversations consistently leave you feeling unheard. Recognizing these contexts lets you plan ahead. You can choose quieter spaces for important discussions or decompress after stressful interactions. Awareness doesn't remove triggers, it helps you anticipate and manage them. Now let's look at mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools for emotional balance. At its core, mindfulness means paying attention, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment. When we're mindful, we're not trying to control or suppress emotions. We're observing them, watching them rise, peak, and pass like waves. You can practice mindfulness anywhere. Take a few deep breaths before a difficult conversation. Notice the sensation of your feet on the ground when you're anxious. Pay attention to the taste of your coffee in the morning, instead of scrolling your phone. Each of these small acts grounds you in the present, and reminds your brain that you're safe. Simple techniques like mindful breathing, body scans, or mindful walking build emotional stability over time. Let's take a quick example. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Instinctively, frustration surges. Normally, you'd react, maybe swear, maybe stew on it for hours. Instead, you pause. You take one slow, deep breath. You notice your heartbeat, your clenched jaw. You label it, I'm feeling angry. And you let the feeling pass. That pause is where emotional power lives. It's the moment you step out of reactivity and into choice. Here's an everyday mindfulness practice. You don't need to sit cross-legged in silence for hours to practice mindfulness. You can weave it into daily life. Here are a few examples. Mindful listening. When someone's talking, focus entirely on their words, tone, and body language. Don't plan your reply, just listen. Mindful walking, notice the rhythm of your steps, the feel of the air, the sounds around you. 5 senses grounding, name 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. Gratitude check-ins, once a day, name something you're genuinely grateful for, big or small. These tiny moments build self-awareness. They teach your mind to slow down, notice shifts in emotion, and respond with intention instead of habit. If you like structure, digital tools can help you visualize your emotional journey. Apps like Dailyo, MoodFit, or Reflectly make it easy to log moods, track triggers, and notice trends over time. Prefer pen and paper? That's just as effective. Physical journals allow space for reflection. You can write freely about what happened, what you felt, and what you learned. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress. Each note, each observation, helps you better understand what fuels your emotional ups and downs. And as you learn, you'll find that emotional awareness doesn't just help you manage stress, it strengthens relationships, focus, and self-confidence. Once you can recognize your emotional triggers, the next step is to develop proactive coping strategies. Start by reflecting on what's worked for you in the past. Think back to times you handled difficult emotions well. What helped? Maybe walking, journaling, talking with a friend, or setting boundaries. These aren't random, they're personal blueprints. Keep them handy. Professional help can also be part of that strategy. Therapy, coaching, or support groups offer new perspectives and evidence-based tools. Sometimes, sharing experiences with others going through similar challenges can be deeply healing. And remember, proactive strategies also mean preparing before emotions spike. If you know a situation might be stressful, say, a family gathering or performance review, plan ahead. Set clear limits, practice calming techniques, or schedule downtime afterwards. Preparation turns potential chaos into manageable moments. Let's wrap this up. Emotions aren't problems to solve, they're signals to understand. By identifying triggers, practicing mindfulness, and developing coping strategies, you begin to transform your relationship with your inner world. You start to notice patterns. You pause before reacting. You respond instead of explode. And that subtle shift, from reaction to reflection, changes everything. This is the real work of emotional growth, not becoming emotionless, but becoming emotionally intelligent. Start small. A few mindful breaths. A note in your trigger diary. A daily check-in with how you really feel. Over time, these small moments add up, creating a life built not on emotional chaos, but on awareness, clarity, and calm.